Welcome back, and today we're going to do a little bit on the 100E. For those that have seen the car and seen the little bit that we have done on social media, the car is well in bits. We've just pulled it to bits, getting it ready for race season, race prep, road prep, bit of anything, isn't it? Going fast. So yeah, we want it a little bit faster than last year. The engine's out. This car's always been a 2.8 stroker RB from a Skyline. Since pulling it out, we're going down the RB30 route now, so 3 litre, try and get the torques up, just try and make it more pleasant to drive. It's pretty good as it is, but we just want it to make a little bit more torque, a little less revvy, and to have a big power window, so it's usable. It is running the DCT BMW gearbox from a 2019 M3. Yeah. So enough with that. I mean, I did say, or I did mention on social media that we were making a sump, a larger sump for it. That is done. The sump has been made. I've done that. Last year, we suffered with oil temperature rising, gearbox ratios wasn't perfect, so it just wanted the diff ratio altering slightly. Diff being noisy. I pulled the diff out. The diff, the complete axle is from a Ford Mustang. It's a 9-inch Ford Mustang axle with a spool in it. But yeah, it was noisy last year. So we did pull it out twice, put bearings in it, went through it, set the backlash, everything, and we just couldn't figure the noise. So I thought, when I pull it to bits, I'll just go pull it all to bits, send diff to somewhere, and go from front to back, doing all the niggly bits that I wasn't keen with last year. So yeah, we have had the diff back. The diff's come back from HOODIES Racing. Mind all the bits. We've got plenty of race car bits. There's another RB that's come out, the E30. Some of you will have seen that on the social media. I don't actually think it's made the YouTube yet, but yeah, that's it's not very well. That's got a, sounds more like a diesel at the minute than an RB. So yeah, that's another job we're on with. But yeah, the diff for the car is back from HOODIES Racing. As I say, last year we didn't think the diff ratio was quite perfect. Some of the lower gears was very short. So we've altered the ratio slightly to draw the gears out. New bearings throughout. It's had everything really, this diff has. So yeah, today I'm going to get this back in. Get the half shafts back in. Last year we twisted an half shaft. So we went to a 31 spline shaft, again from HOODIES Racing instead of the factory 28 spline. So yeah, we're just moving along really. Like last year I launched off some lights, twisted a shaft, we put some different shafts in it, then we killed diff. Diff started getting noisy, so now we're on with that bit. Hopefully we've got rid of all bits, or all teething problems, well not teething problems, hopefully we've done braking bits. So yeah, we're going to get this in. This diff, it's not an LSD, it's not an open diff, it is a live spool. So basically, it's just a solid piece of billet that's been machined with the splines in it. So there is no differential in there at all. So when one wheel spins, you definitely know other one's going with it. And if it don't, you've got a big problem. So yeah, we're going to get that back in. It's an heavy old bit of iron that. We're going to get that back in, get half shafts in, get the stabiliser bar back on, build the rear brakes back up, and put some oil in it. And then back ends back together. And I'm just waiting on the block, the new block back from the engine centre. That's been bored and decked, and then we'll start building the engine. You know about it when you're trying to lift that over your head. That diff there, they do say all the big boys in the drag world run these. These are the go-to diff. If you want to run serious power through a rear end, that is the axle to go to. They do it in a 28 spline standard, 31 and 35 spline. 35 splines 3,000-4,000 horsepower stuff. So we're running the 31 spline, which is that diff will take double power what that engine will ever make. So yeah, hopefully, other than the winding, we've never had no problem. We did on the original size shafts, but they have assured me they will never go wrong, and now that won't. So when all this is back together, hopefully it's a case of I'll never need to look at that again. Well, hopefully we never need to look at all this again, but we always will. But this should be a one-time do, and then that's it.
Just need to get in there then.
Yeah.
It's nice and clean anyway.
Yeah, I've already prepped all that. Every old do putting that in there, it is. So yeah, we're just going to, I've cleaned the surfaces up. I'm just going to put a little smear of sealant around the axle tube, put the gasket on. I'm not going to seal this side of the gasket, just so we've never got to take it back to bits, but if I do have to, the gasket's only sealed on one side, so the gasket will stay with the axle tube. That's the plan anyway. Right, so we're going to lift that in there, and it's heavy. And all the bolts for it are in here, if I remember rightly, because it's been a while. Bolts, nuts. Heavy old do this. Big bit of cast iron. It's hard to get on. Like that.
That's bad, right?
I'm no mechanic, but that's definitely in there.
Where's your nuts?
Yeah, it's not so bad because of downsizing the pinion. In the crown wheel. Yeah, I've got two here.
What size are they?
9/16.
You and your mad sizes. 9/16. You're going to walk over here and pick it straight up like usual, aren't you?
That's the proper one, look. A one piece 9/16. Proper jobby. Right. Pick all nuts out here. I piled all, look at this lot, it's no good. I'll sit and clean all these nuts. For some reason I feel like there ain't enough on them, but there were definitely a full set in there.
Do you want to speak on fruit process once that?
Yeah, basically, once diff's in, I'll get this bolted up, and then it's just the half shaft sliding either end. I'll run you through on how they go in. But yeah, this axle's actually a shortened axle. It's from a Mustang, but it's real short compared to a Mustang axle. Mustang axles, I think they're 57-inch wide. This is 43-inch wide. So it's a fair bit shorter than what it should be to fit under this car. We ain't got enough bolts.
There's some behind it. Move your tub.
Yeah, they're on.
Ta-da.
Big jobs. Yeah. Big jobs on a Wednesday morning. Is it Wednesday?
All day.
All day, says.
We're about to take that sticker off back at diff now.
Yeah, what's
It's not 3.25 anymore, is it?
no, it's a 300. As I said earlier, we've altered the ratio slightly to try and draw the gears out, just to make it work better. A BMW M4, M3, M2. Well, I don't know about M2. I know M3 and M4 run like a 3.7 rear diff, but they are running at 19 and 20-inch wheels, where I'm only running 15s. So we're going to compensate in diff to get the gearing somewhat back right. I'm after a 9/16 in bits and bobs drawer.
It's a very professional looking toolbox we've got.
Yeah, it's proper, isn't it? This is the drawer that everyone says, oh, them spanners, they're them weird sizes. They're not. These are the ones that fit them old cars. And as you see, we don't have a full variety of them.
What size are you after?
9/16. Everyone's been chucking odds and sods spanners in, look. Size is 1/2 inch, George.
14 mil?
Well, no, because I'm looking for nearer 14, aren't I? 13. Right, so we've got the diff back in. I've quickly put the A-frame back in. That just swings down to get the diff out of the way. Basically, that stops, instead of a panhard rod, stops it swinging side to side. I've put that back in. I've bolted the A-frame back up. And it's on to doing the half shafts now, which are here. Which we've got some proper jobbies, look. Uprated half shafts, covered in oil, nice. And we have got the short and the long.
Remember which one?
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, that one's the, I'll know in a second when I slide it in, but that one's this side. Just get a rag, look at state at place. Super Plag's built. One of them. 22 honours with them.
Ready for the Skegness run, aren't we?
Yeah, that's it. Big run next week. So yeah, let this down a bit. Proper job that. Bit on front, stopped working a long time ago. So yeah, case of caliper off, half shaft in, and caliper back on. All this rear brake setup is just an aftermarket setup from a just off Summit Racing. They feel a bit weird, don't they feel that? It's a brand new shaft, brand new bearing.
Feels like
Bit tight, isn't it?
yeah. A bit gravelly, doesn't it? It's not smooth.
They're brand new.
That might be what you can hear.
No,
Can you
no.
imagine? What money have you spent on that diff?
So basically, they knock in there like that, chock of wood, knock them in, bolt caps up, and yeah, just like that. I hope it's not that noise. It's making me wonder that. Yeah, knock them in, and then they have them lock-off collars. Fold them all in, and all the nuts and bolts are in here. It's been in bits a few weeks. I hate this car being in bits. It looks so pretty when it's together. It annoys me taking it to bits. Nah, 3 or 4 rugger dogs will be fine, won't it? And yeah, that's an half shaft in. Brake disc on. Brake disc or this one, isn't it? Brake disc is not like your normal brake disc. Yeah, I know it's right, look, 'cause I put R on it. They're not much like a factory standard disc. It is a lightweight, slow you down racing disc. And then them go on there, like bit like that. Drop your pads in, Mate, just literally drop in. He says.
There you go.
Like that. And then there's your 2 locating pins, just drop through front back, toe them in. Dead simple, dead fast. Right, that's that side built up, calipers on, discs on, it's all back together. I'm going to drop this wheel on now. And then it's a case of same again on the other side. Look at the state of them. I won't say they like brand new, but they're a bit cleaner, aren't they? Get these back on and start on the other side. It's very tight to get these in, hence why it's got plastic over fenders, because you can't do it with steel quarters, because literally they sit, it touches the thing.
Fitment, eh?
Yeah, a couple of mil between it. Tell you what, one's good clean, don't it? Can stay at wheels. Probably thinking, what's that? Had a bit of tapes there when I counted the diff ratio before I took it to bits to make sure it was a 3.25. We've not now dropped down to a 300. Some people will be thinking, is he talking a different language? Some people will understand. Pretty much, that's your lot. You won't get, you don't get a deal under that. But with it, that can come off now. So I'm just gonna, as you see, all these bolt off. You have to crack them undone to get the wheel in and out. Then ones you have to take out. I'm gonna bolt that back up and then start the same process on the other side, get that back together, and then rear diff's done. Right, so bright and early, we've got all those bits back from the engine centre. We have got a freshly machined RB30 block. It's on fresh balls at 0.25, at 0.5 over. It has been decked. We've got a freshly polished crank, which is there, and we've got a lot of go faster bits. Some of the bits that arrived are, we've got CP pistons, we have got a billet PRP oil pump, we have got ARP bolts, their mains head studs are in office, a RB30 twin cam head timing belt. It's an oddball timing belt, that, because these engines was designed with single cam, but you use the 2.5 twin cam head, so you have an oddball cam belt, an inlet manifold gasket, some ACL mains, we've got some ACL big ends, and a multi-layer steel head gasket, or crank bolt, a couple of other little bits, but yeah, plan of action today. I'm going to get as much as I can rotating assembly, rods, I didn't show you rods, set of Nitto H-beam rods. What we're going to do today is get the rotating assembly in this engine and hopefully start moving forward with this car at some pace. Car's been looking sorry for itself for a month or so now. The old motor is there. For those that don't know, it had a 2.8 stroker RB in it before. We wanted to change a few little things like the sump. I've altered the sump. Wanted to put an auxiliary water cooler on there, so it was a case I'll pull the engine out and alter them a few things, and I thought while it's out we'll go for a bit more power, a bit more torque. Torque's what you need. It's not all about horsepower, it's about torque. I want to plan this year to be able to drive this car and it work and it perform well. So what I'm going to do now, don't forget brake cleaner. We've got 5 litre of brake cleaner, brake clean everything. and airline it off before start assembling. But I'm going to put the crank in. I'm not going to video it all. I'll video some important bits, but I'm not going to video it all because it'd be a lengthy video. This block is the same as a Skyline block, but they're actually an inch taller in the deck, giving it the 3 litre. So yeah, don't want to bore you too much, but I'll come back to you when we've got a little bit further on. Right, so as I've said, we're not going to bore you too much with the whole process of putting this crank in and putting the rods and pistons in, because it will be a lengthy video, but we'll just slow it down and get just the important bits in. We've just swapped the original main bolts are just your generic normal bolt. They are no longer used. We are using ARP studs, nuts and washers now. So your original setup is just a bolt you put in. This setup, you actually, you wind your studs in, drop your crank in, drop your cradle on, and then it is washers and nuts. A damn sight stronger than your generic standard OEM bolts. They do say to keep an engine together, you need balance and bolts. If it's got good bolts in it and the rotating assembly is balanced well, it will last. That's what they say anyway. Right, so I've dropped the new bearings in, and basically I've put a little bit of oil on the bearing, as you can see. I'm just going to drop the crank in there now. It goes, I mean, I'm no mechanic, but it goes in there something like that. And yeah, pretty much that's the crank in. This crank's huge. I can't believe, obviously I've done a lot with RB25s and 26s. I've never had RB30s. You don't really see that many of them in the UK. But I can't believe how big that rotating assembly is, that crank, compared to the... In fact, I'm going to show you one, because I have got one. I've got a couple of cranks about. I'm going to go and fetch one now just to show you the difference. So, this crank's just a scrap RB25 crank. But you can see, I don't know if you can see on the video as much, but you can see the difference in throw between the 3 litre and a 2.5 RB25 crank. Like I say, that is the first crank I've seen 3 litre. And when I unboxed it, I thought, Jesus, look at the size of that. You can see why they make a lot more torque. They don't rev as much, but I don't want to be chasing RPMs. I don't want to be at 9,000 RPM. I want it to be low down, torquey, and get going. So that's the plan for this year. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, brake clean everything before fitting, just to get any oil, anything off really. Brake clean it and then air it off. Just air that off and drop new bearings in. Right, so that's clean, brake cleaned off, so I'm just going to drop the new bearings in now and pretty much here's your mains. You have, they're all the same, well I say they're all the same. The top bearings don't have oiling holes, the bottoms do, because it feeds through the block, not through the cradle. But you just have, these are standard size, they are aftermarket performance bearings, but they're a STD standard size bearing. They just drop into pretty, never put oil on the back side of the bearing. Always have it on the front side. All these bearings are the same, so they can go in anywhere apart from the middle one, which I will show you now. Middle one has a thrust, which is that one. So I'll miss that one out for a minute. They're all in. Here's your thrusts. That is your one odd bearing. It's got thrusts on the side, so when you press your clutch pedal, obviously your clutch pedal shoves your clutch, which shoves your flywheel, shoves your crank forward in your motor. They are your thrust washers to stop end float on your crank. And they just drop in pretty much like that. That now is ready to drop onto the crank. I'll put a little dab of oil on each one, drop it on, torque it down at a real low torque, make sure it's seated square, and then go for first stage torque, make sure it spins free, and then torque it up, and then that's the crank in. We're just torquing up to 40 foot-pound first stage, and then make sure it's right, and then go again for the final stage. Right, crank's in. Next step, build all the pistons onto the rods, drop the rods in. I'll build the 5 up and then I'll come to videoing on the 6 to show you how I've done it. There's no point in videoing every one just because it's a lengthy process. Right, so we've put one piston in. I'll just show you the process of fitting the pistons. You use a ring tool like this. I have built the pistons onto the rods. They are here. They are numbered because they have been gapped specifically to the bore. But we are using CP pistons and Nitto rods. Again, to be fair, I think I have got a 2.5 rod. I'm going to show you the difference. This is the first time doing this with a 3 litre, and I just can't believe the size and thickness of these rods. Like, compared to bore, I mean, look at that, just to get them in the bore. In fact, I'm just going to go and get a 2.5 rod or 2.6 rod now, just to show you how much bigger they are. So, this is 2.6, just a space that I added back. But, as you can see, it is a considerable amount in throw difference. Even when you look at bolt size, rod thickness, or journal thickness should I say, pistons are same size, pin height is different, but yeah, you can see that'll rev for England. That's out on RB26. These don't rev so much, but that'll be happy at 9,000 plus RPM. They say, I'm going to have this rev limiter set at about 7,700. You're on your limit there really, but if it's making a load of torque, you don't really need to rev it, and that's my plan this year. But when I got them out of box, I thought, I've blown plenty of these up, I see these all the time. When I got them out of box, I thought, Jesus, look at the size of them. 2.6 or 2.5, they both run the same length rod, 3 litre. So yeah, number 2, I'm going to get that piston there, show you how you put it in, and then I'm going to run through the rest, get all them in. So I've dropped the new bearings in there, again, ACL bearings, standard size. This crank is unground. I don't advise a ground crank on anything big power. Ring tool or ring compressor. Basically, you always set your piston rings, never have them like that, because if you have them like that, you cause a blow-by. Your boost will run down the side of your piston. So you always set your oil ring, so your oil ring's there. So I'll set the bottom ring there, top ring there. Same goes with any engine, not specifically Skyline engine or Nissan. Crank I have rotated so that journal's at the bottom, if you can see that there. Piston does have to go in right way. Thrusts, so your locking collar there runs up to your thrust side, so if your engine's turning clockwise, the back side's the thrust side. Like that. A smear of oil round bore before you drop piston in. Just don't hit it, you just tap it, make sure it's square. Make sure that's where you want it. If there's any resistance as you're knocking them in, just knock them in like that. If you ever think that's hard, something's wrong, the ring's out, or as it comes down, just make sure it's still locked off. Like I say, if it ever goes tight, or you think, I'm hitting that, and there you go. Any marks off at bottom of hammer, just wipe off. And there you have it. There's 2 in. I'm going to carry this same thing on across them all and then come back to you when they're all in. Right, another day. Pistons and rods are in. We've actually dropped the cylinder head on, torqued that up. Yeah, so now today we are fitting, we're actually using it's the first time I've ever used a gasket on a sump on an RB, because they come from factory without a gasket, but it always gets messy when you're sealanting. So we're going to try a cork gasket that they've made, just an aftermarket gasket. So plan of action is get for some of you that didn't see the sump that I made, I've sat and made that. It's a bit overkill. It's 14 litre, but more oil, longer for it to all get round, longer it lasts. What else, Boz?
No starvation?
Well, you're definitely not starving, are you? Yeah, and that's it. So that's his plan. Hopefully, be midweek we will have motor going back in. Yeah, like I say, these are just sealant from factory. They'd never have a sump gasket.
Weird how they've made it though, isn't it?
It's cork.
Oh yeah, like what they put in wine bottles and that. Yeah. Feels like it, yeah.
Grab all side that way.
Two-man job, that one.
Big one.
Oh, hold up. What was that?
My finger.
No, it weren't. Look. Old sump.
Oh no. Oh no. What was it? Oh.
Whatever that fucker is. Oop. Shouldn't be swearing, should I?
Bit sealed on those.
Not really what you want in it.
Freshly built motor. But mine's got loads in it.
Where's that come from? Oh, that's the bit I've pulled off end at tube, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You got it?
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
I need to line a couple on them up. Where's the bolt? Right, so we've got sump on, that's on and done. Gasket went well. I'll definitely use one of those again. We're just on with putting some of the ancillaries on there. The exhaust manifold is on. We're just on with putting inlet on there.
Like I say, we've not filmed all the boring bits because really it's just bolt on, bolt off stuff.
Right, I'm really not looking forward to this. Yeah?
Yeah, that'll be alright. That's safer.